Hi, I'm Tyler Shell. My presentation is on how to play fantasy football. I'm here to tell you about the game of fantasy football, how to have fun playing the game, how to successfully compete with other managers playing the game, and the ultimate goal of winning the league championship. Fantasy football is a points-driven game in which the participants serve as general managers of the virtual teams that they have built right before the NFL draft begins, or sometimes right before the NFL season begins. Not draft, sorry. Um, they compete weekly with other managers for the championship, and the best team ends up winning. So whoever scores the most points in the league championship will win that game. Fantasy football is a math-based game. It's based on real-life production of NFL players, and the participants usually tend to get together at the beginning of each NFL season, or some it's just really just any time before the NFL season kicks off, and they tend to get together for what they say like a draft party, whether it's 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 20, whatever the number is, they all get together and they all do their draft together. And um, so, yeah, starting joining a fantasy football league, so like if you want to start or join a fantasy football league, there are multiple different apps and websites you can go on. There's ESPN Fantasy, which is one of the more popular ones, NFL.com Fantasy, which is another popular, Yahoo.com, and then there's my personal favorite, the Sleeper app. But regardless of whether you want to start or join a league, you're just going to have to pick an app or a website. You're going to have to. So all these websites have mobile apps as well, which is the more convenient way for most of us to manage our fantasy teams. If you just, all you have to, and really it's just you have to find six, like I said, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, a certain amount of guys, an even amount of guys to get into a league and just have fun doing it and compete, whether it's for money or just for fun. The draft. So in order to draft within your league, you have to have a draft order. So with another a thing to fantasy football is obviously the biggest thing is having fun and making it interactive for everybody. So a good way to do that is to think of a better idea than just a random generated draft order by the website that you're using. Is maybe like a more creative idea, like maybe getting a cameo of an NFL player to announce your random draft order, and that will definitely keep the league interested because I'm sure everyone in the league is a fan of football, and whoever the NFL player is, they're going to be excited about that an NFL player is saying their name on it in the draft order and announcing it. Whoever, like it's all about having fun and staying interactive. So and then, no matter what you get you get in the draft, though there are strategies for each draft position. That's for sure. There's strategies for if you have the first pick, because you end up with the last pick in the second round. So you have to think about that differently. You have a longer time period between your first and second pick than others do. But if you have, even if you have the last pick, you have the last pick in the first round and then the first pick in the second round. So then you have a longer time to your third pick. It's just all about strategy and staying fluid within the draft, and don't be afraid to go off course, obviously. So we'll go back here. So the standard scoring breakdown for a quarterback is it's 0.04 points for every passing yard they throw, which is 1 point for every 25 yards passed. So it's really just like for scoring. This is just the standard scoring. Like if you were to go on ESPN and just do what they had put in there, you can go in there and customize all this. You can create a very customizable league, or very different league than what the standard is. But anyways, the standard for passing touchdowns is 4 points or 6 points per passing touchdown, 4 or 6 points per rushing touchdown, 1 point for every 10 yards rushed, and -2 for an interception that the quarterback throws. For a running back, it's 1 point per 10 yards rushed. It's 1 point or half point per reception, depending on league style. It's and 4 or 6 points per touchdown. The standard scoring breakdown, just how the wide receiver or tight ends gets how they get their points. 1 point for every 10 yards receiving, 4 or 6 points per receiving touchdown, 4 or 6 points per rushing touchdown, and it's either the 1 point per reception or it's the half point per reception usually. For kicker, it's 1 point per extra point made. And then it's just for every field goal they make, whether it's 0 to 39 yards, that's 3-point play or kick. If it's 40 to 49 yards, that's a 4 point. If it's a 50 to 59 yards, that's a 4 or 5 point kick, and so on and so forth. Weekly scoring in the playoffs. So like for the weekly scoring, the team with the most points scored in any week wins that matchup. You go on to just, if you win the matchup, you get a W in your win column. So that's just going to add to your record. At the end of the regular season, the top 6 or 8 teams will usually make the playoffs unless obviously it's just like you can customize, like I said, you can customize your league any way you want to, but the standard is 6 or 8 teams to enter the playoffs to compete for the championship, and the 1 and 2 seed will have the first round bye. So that means in the first round of the playoffs, everyone will compete. Whoever wins those whoever the 4 people are that win the first round games will go on to, or the 2 people will go on to play the 2 people that had the first round byes, and then they will meet in the that'll be the semifinals, and then they will meet in the championship for the Ultimate League Championship trophy. And whoever scores the most points will win that trophy. Conclusion. Fantasy football is definitely is very fun. It's a super competitive and strategic game meant to bring people together. In order to be successful in fantasy football, one must do research and definitely put in the time, and you have to study to ensure the team is good enough to compete for the title. There are various lists of rankings and cheat sheets people can purchase or read to use to their advantage in the draft and just during the season to try and get that extra edge on a competitor, or just trying to work the waiver column every week. And it's just all about staying fluid within the draft and throughout the season to get that championship, to have a successful fantasy football season. Fantasy football, it's really not that hard. It's really just the apps do the point, and they do all the math for you and stuff. It's really just doing a little research and figuring out who you like. If you're competing for money, if it's you competing for fun, just pick your favorite players. It's really all just for fun. Thank you.